terms of flight pattern and distance, the amounts of force applied had to be greater in order for me to go further. So yes, they did change in all of my jumps. Now, the more force I applied, the higher and further I went. And I think the reason for this is because I started to use more potential energy to create kinetic energy. So as you can see in my first jump, I didn't really have to bend as much in my legs in order to create more potential energy. I barely had to bend at all in order to jump. But then when you go to my last jump, I actually had to go into almost a full squat in order to maximize my potential energy to exert my kinetic energy forward. Stable surface and an unstable surface, I noticed that I could jump a lot further on the stable surface as opposed to the unstable surface. The reason for that is, again, when we talk about potential energy on a stable surface, it's allowing me to use all of that energy to go out. As opposed to an unstable surface, it's actually absorbing some of my potential energy, which in turn will not allow me to jump out and use all of my kinetic energy to go out and forward. You can actually see in the videos that the ball actually started to slide out from under me because it was absorbing my potential energy, especially when I started to try and use it. You could see the ball go out from underneath my feet, and because of that, I could not jump as far. For an example for baseball, this was a little bit tougher for me, but I started to think about when a hitter tries to get out of the batter's box after he's hit the ball. It's a lot easier for him to push off out of the box when it's a hard, dry surface, when we're running on clay. They're able to use all of their potential energy to drive into kinetic energy towards first base, as opposed to when it's like a wet day and now all the clay starts to get really soft, it gets really wet, or some fields actually use more of like a sand in order to use around the boxes. So again, it's a little bit unstable compared to a dry, hard surface. So it's a lot easier to get out of the box on a hard, dry surface, as opposed to when our hitters swing, they're not going to get out of the box nearly as quickly when they're running in mud.